Was he a detriment to the black community, or did he help the black community? Just in your own personal opinion.
If I was alive back then, I would have knocked Martin Luther King right out. Straight up. I don't care how nobody feel about it. Martin Luther King was a traitor, and he was a treasonous black person. And if we had our own nation, we would have rightfully, legally been able to charge Martin Luther King with treason. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Martin Luther King was funded by the Rockefellers to convince black people to be passive so that way they can get as far as they've gotten today. That's just the truth. That's just straight up the truth. Martin Luther King was paid by the deep state at that time to convince us not to fight back. And the reason I'm telling y'all this is because they don't tell you how critical violence levels was at the time. White people used to come out 5,000, 10,000 deep. They used to fill up stadiums and have lynching parties. They would literally come out. They would literally come outside 20,000 deep to hang black people. So could you imagine 10,000 white people coming to your house, snatching you out your house? They was raping black women every day at free will. It was you was able to get a license to hunt black people. And
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I saw that. That was crazy. I saw that a couple years ago, that license. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. So they was literally filling up stadiums to lynch us. And it was crazy. And one of the most craziest ones was this boy named, I believe his name was Jesse Washington. He was 17 and he was mentally ill. He wasn't even a rational, he wasn't even sane. And white people didn't even use a rope. They used a chain. They put a chain around his neck, and then they lit a fire under him, and then they hung him, and then they kept lowering him right before he died. And the fire was keeping him alive. And then it was like 15,000 white people outside. And one of them kept pushing him in the fire with the pitchfork. So then when he tried to crawl up the chain, they clipped all of his fingers off one by one until he didn't have no fingers to grab the chain. And then he was just slapping the chain. And then another white man came up and cut his penis off. And he was only 17. And so the reason I'm telling y'all this story is white people was not killing grown ass black people like that, unless you was a business owner. They was mostly attacking and killing our youth. And Martin Luther, bitch ass pussy nigga King, convinced black people to be nonviolent. And I'm like, dog, I don't promote violence, but shit like that, it's time to go to war. Straight up, it's time to go to war. Slaughter gang. And run through. I would have ran through. Whoa! If I would have been alive back then, I would have blew Martin Luther King away in front of everybody, and I would have told my people, get everything you got. If you ain't strapped, get your kitchen knife. You ain't got a kitchen knife, bitch, get a kitchen pot. Because we're going to find these motherfuckers that did that. That's a fact. And so my thing is, we're not just talking about racism like, we're going to whip. We're talking about torture. They were torturing black people for fun. It could be 3 a.m. and some white people kick your door, and next thing you know, you're getting tortured. So the shit that they doing in private, they was doing that shit in public 20,000 deep, 15,000 deep. And so when they show you the civil rights, they only want to make it seem like they was hosing us down or sick and dog. No, white people was coming outside with their kids, taking pictures in front of our dead bodies with their kids. They used to take body parts, like your ear or your finger, and then keep it as a souvenir and sell it. And then when they used to hang us, they used to take pictures and then use the pictures on the envelopes for the mail. So when the mailman drop your mail off, it's niggas hanging on your goddamn mail. And so we was getting terrorized. Could you imagine getting some mail right now? Let's just say some regular mail. It's a phone. It's a light bill. And on the light bill, I'm hanging on the motherfucker, and it's a real picture. That's how they was giving it up. And Martin Luther King told us to be nonviolent. So I don't know why nobody. I would have knocked him off. I'm not gonna hold you up. I would have knocked him off, and we would have went to war in this country, straight up.
Okay, I was asking you, Martin Luther King, was he